Hi listeners, it's Kat here from Aghast. I just wanted to take a minute outside of the show to let you know about alter ego empowerment coaching. It's time to invest in your relationship with yourself. We all have a tendency to put other people or tasks first, but in doing so, we can sometimes neglect our relationship with ourselves. Let me be your advocate and show you a kinder, gentler way to treat the most important person in your life, yourself. Alter Ego Wellness offers life coaching to help you achieve the life you desire through interactive online coaching sessions. We also offer online yoga and meditation classes. If you think Alter Ego Wellness may help you, please feel free to contact me, Catherine, at alteregowellness@outlook.com or at alteregowell on Instagram. Okay, now back to our show.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My goodness. Oh, yeah. I know what you just did. You were like, you know what? I got a feeling for some true crime. Yeah. I need to hear about someone else's shitty day or shitty life. That will make me feel better. That's a tickle that I need. I got an itch that needs scratched, and I need murder and rape to figure that one out. Well, we got you covered here, folks. Here at Castbox, we can scratch that itch for you. Today, in this episode, we have a cheesemaker, California, being a fat alcoholic, 4 divorces, and 5 children, most of whom are from different husbands. If you're thinking, well, that just sounds like 9 out of 10 women on Tinder.
That's good.
You're wrong. Well, you're right. But today you're wrong. No, today we are talking about one of the world's worst mothers. You're right, it's a boomer. We're talking about the shithole cunt, Theresa Knorr. This one is such a piss off for me, I can't even have a good time about it. And you're not going to have a good time, but you will listen because you have an itch that needs to be scratched. And by God, if we don't scratch it, it's going to turn into a big pussy red rash of a boil of fucking... Alright, I'm sorry. Let's just get on to it. Pour yourself a drink. I'm John.
And I'm Kat.
And this is Castbox. Cheers, friend. Oh dear. It's that time again. Time to listen to some rape and murder. How, like, in your research, do you find that rape always joins murder?
No.
But they seem to be tied together a lot.
Well, they're not today.
Not today? We just have just murder or just rape?
Just one. You'll learn.
Oh,
It'll be like a little game. A little scavenger
hunt.
hunt.
This is horrible. This is fucking horrible. Oh, boy.
Yeah, buckle up for this one, too.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, no.
Oh, nah. All right, precious John, the one who keeps this podcast alive. Because we all know no one comes here for me.
No one comes here at all.
It's
just us. It's just a couple talking into a mic.
All right, give us our disclaimer.
All right.
Try and keep it under a minute.
Okay, I'll keep it under a minute. Cue the fucking music. Put on Debussy. Hey, folks. We here at Castbox have a lighter touch to true crime. The lightest touch you can possibly imagine. We are like the gentle pinching index finger and thumb, squeezing the pus of true crime from the armpit goiter of podcasts. A salty discharge, frothy and yellow.
You're at the 40-second mark.
That is true crime. The reason we have to have a little bit of levity is because true crime sucks. It always has and always will. And if we don't do this, well, we get depressed and then we can't go to work, and God knows we need to go to work because there's no money in this bracket. So if you can't get behind insulting and ridiculing and belittling rapists and murderers and their shithole families that created them and all the other motherfuckers that made it easier for them to do their fucking crimes, then you are a complete fucking imbecile and fuck off. For the rest of you, welcome. Grab yourself alcohol. That's what I recommend. Or some sort of stimulant or depressant. And let's get right pissed while we get pissed off. Bless your hearts and good luck.
We were way over a minute.
Oh,
so
I
we
don't
have
fucking
to work
care.
on
I don't.
keeping it
I
under
don't fucking care.
Well,
I don't
laptops have.
This is the happiest thing I get to.
Laptops have a battery life.
Your face is a battery life.
And if anyone is drinking an alcoholic beverage, waterfall your drink for that long ass disclaimer.
Yeah, rewind the podcast and waterfall the entire.
It's not even a disclaimer anymore. You've taken it away from it being a disclaimer.
It's a tradition now.
It's a
tradition.
Okay.
All right, let's get on with the goddamn show.
All right. Theresa Knorr. Just joking. It's Knorr.
Who knows, though? Who knows?
Theresa Knorr was born March 12th, 1946.
1946. Let's take a look at the board. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, shit. Yeah, you smell that? It's a boomer alert.
Fuck these boomers. Fuck these yuppies. And fuck everybody, now that I think of it.
There we go.
Fucking boomers.
I would say bad woman. You said, is she the bad guy? She's the bad lady.
Oh, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck about the gender of criminals?
She was born March 12, 1946 in Sacramento, California to parents Swanee and James Cross. Teresa's parents had moved her and her siblings to Rio Linga, California.
Rio Linga, what a great name.
That's a great name.
I live in Rio Linga. Oh, geez. Really? I do that to my wife every other Tuesday.
Ew, you're gross. So they moved there in the early 50s as the couple was doing very well financially,
Good
which
for
was
them.
unusual for that time with both spouses working.
Wow.
Yeah, the wife worked as well. In the early 50s, that was unusual.
Really?
Sadly, her father, James, would be diagnosed with Parkinson's in the late 1950s, which resulted in him having to leave his job as a cheesemaker at the Golden State Dairy.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun to be a cheesemaker?
Yeah.
Probably not. It's probably really smelly.
I wonder if it would turn you off cheese.
I think it would, yeah.
While Swanee made enough money to keep the family financially stable as she worked at a timber company, James had developed depression and would often take out his anger at the family. In March of 1961, just a few years after James's diagnosis, Teresa's mother would die of heart failure.
No, bummer.
No longer able to keep the house afloat, James had to sell it. A 16-year-old Theresa would meet 21-year-old Clifford Sanders. Theresa dropped out of school and married Clifford on September 29, 1962. The couple welcomed their first child on July 16, 1963, a son named Howard. Theresa was very controlling. She was possessive over Clifford and would often accuse him of cheating on her. On one occasion, they had gotten into a very heated argument that led to Theresa calling the police, claiming that Clifford had punched her.
Jesus, holy cow.
However, she would never press charges.
Oh, well, that tells it all, doesn't it?
On July 6, 1964, a now pregnant Theresa, with their second child, had been upset that Clifford had gone out with his friends on his birthday.
How dare he?
I know.
One day a year? That's bullshit.
When he got home, the couple began arguing. Clifford had used this opportunity to tell Theresa he was done with this and that he was going to leave her.
Good.
In a fit of rage, Theresa had retrieved their rifle and shot Clifford in the back when he was leaving their apartment.
Wow.
Clifford did not survive this and passed away.
Jesus, holy cow.
Theresa was charged with the murder of Clifford Sanders. On trial, Theresa was claiming that she had only shot Clifford in self-defense.
In the back.
Yeah, exactly.
You stupid fucking bitch.
She accused him of being an abusive alcoholic. During the trial, many of Clifford's family and friends had testified against Theresa, stating that Clifford was not abusive towards her, nor an alcoholic. Theresa was acquitted of her murder charge in September of 1964.
Are you fucking kidding me? That is so fucking full of shit. That is so fucking... Again... The fucking courts are always leaning towards the fucking woman.
Or what
this
the
is
jury,
bullshit.
what the jury was made up of.
Well, they're a pack of fucking imbeciles, is what they were.
Women.
Fucking dumbasses. It's so fucking stupid.
She gave birth to her and Clifford's second child, a daughter named Sheila, on March 16th, 1965. Theresa began drinking very heavily after Sheila was born. She would spend most of her time at the local Legion drinking her day away.
Oh, yeah. But Clifford was the
an
fucking...
alcoholic.
Drinking at the Legion. What the fuck?
During one of her Legion outings, she met Estelle Thornsberry, a U.S. Army veteran. The two began dating and moved in together shortly after.
What the fuck is his name?
Estelle? Maybe it's Estelle?
Because Estelle is like...
is a more feminine
like this
name.
is missing the last E.
Yeah, so is it Estelle?
That sounds like a Witcher name.
Well, so what would you say it is, though?
I don't know. I never thought of Estelle as like a...
Okay, so I'll say Estelle. I'll start over again.
No, you don't have to start over again.
No, we're not going to
Folks,
keep this in.
folks,
No.
do you think she should start over again?
How about new, you crazy Dutch bastard?
During one of her Legion outings, she met Estelle Thornsberry, a U.S. Army veteran. The two began dating and moved in together shortly after.
Oh, jeez.
Theresa...
Preying on veterans.
Theresa just started treating Estelle like a live-in nanny. She would continue to go out drinking and would leave her children with Estelle. She would be gone for multiple days in a row.
What?
Which led Estelle to question her fidelity.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just a few months after moving in, Estelle was right with his assumptions and discovered that Theresa was having an affair with his best friend, Robert Knorr.
Well, not best friend anymore.
He was a U.S. Marine Corps private.
U.S. Marine Corps.
Estelle ended the relationship. Theresa continued her relationship with Robert, becoming pregnant with her third child and marrying Robert on July 9th, 1966. And the couple having their baby September 27th.
Fuck, Estelle got out of there.
Yeah, he dodged a
scot-free.
bullet.
When he left her, did he walk like backwards out the door?
Yeah, no
Like,
kidding.
Jesus Christ, he would have had to have heard about this fucking thing.
Robert and Theresa's relationship was just as tumultuous as her previous ones.
Oh, fun.
Both Robert and Theresa would be violent towards each other and their children during their arguments. Despite this, they gave birth to William Knorr on September 15th, 1967, and Robert Jr. on December 31st, 1968.
I always find it interesting when a couple that are clearly
Hating
each other
continue to have...
when they have kids. Like, it's not even I can't imagine it being a happy moment.
Oh, it wasn't.
Right?
No, yeah.
Like the kid is born and they're like...
Here's another one.
Oh, he has your eyes. No, he has my eyes, you fucking ass.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like...
Theresa was pregnant with their third child when he left them and divorced her on June 3rd, 1970. Their daughter, Theresa, would be born 2 months later in August. Theresa burned through 2 other marriages in 1971 and 1972.
We're just going to gloss over those.
There was very little detail on them, other than just their names.
All right.
Theresa was never Mother of the Year with any of her children. She was...
Yeah, no fucking kidding.
Or Wife of the Year.
Or Woman of the Year.
Yeah.
Just a dumb fucking bitch.
She was always abusive to them, verbally, physically, and psychologically. But that all intensified after her 4th divorce in 1972.
God, she's like Ross Geller, who's fucking divorcing everyone.
After that divorce, she drank even more and gained a lot of weight.
Oh, good. Now she's a fucking bitch and fat.
She also turned into a recluse, not leaving the house and not welcoming anyone in. She eventually moved herself and the kids into a 2-bedroom apartment in Orangevale, California.
She took up one entire room. Everyone else lived in the other room. It was the smaller room.
Her oldest son, Howard, had already moved out before that move.
Oh, good for him.
After leaving, there were reports that the apartment was left filthy and smelled like urine.
Oh, God.
Theresa would not allow her children to go outside, and when seen by neighbors, they were described as fearful and high-strung.
Oh, Jesus.
Theresa would burn her children with cigarettes, force-feed them, and throw knives at them.
What the fuck?
I know.
Throw knives.
She would often force the other children to assist her in holding a child down while she abused them.
Oh, my God, that's fucking horrible.
On one occasion, Theresa's daughter Terry refused to help, so Theresa grabbed her pistol, held it to Terry's head, and threatened to kill her if she didn't help.
Holy fuck, this fucking crazy bitch.
Though she was mentally and physically abusive to all of her children, she focused the majority of her attention on her 2 oldest daughters, Susan and Sheila.
Oh, my God.
Who were beginning to mature into beautiful young women. While Theresa had gained weight and aged, she was jealous.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Theresa became convinced that her last husband, Chet, had turned her oldest daughter, Susan, into a witch. So Susan bared the brunt of most of Theresa's torture.
I didn't know ex-husbands can do that. He was a warlock.
Yeah.
2nd degree.
Yeah. Theresa would beat and abuse Susan every day,
Oh, for fuck's
multiple
sakes.
times a day.
This is like a Sylvia Likens
I
fucking
know.
scenario.
After one particular brutal beating, Susan ran away from home.
Good.
Police discovered her and picked her up.
Fuck.
She was taken to a psychiatric hospital where she pleaded for help, telling the nurses about her abusive mother and home.
Oh, please tell me someone listened to her.
Theresa was notified that Susan was at the hospital, and when she arrived there and was confronted with the claims, Theresa stated that Susan had mental problems. The claims were never investigated further, and Susan was sent back home with Theresa.
This is so fucking annoying when shit like this happens. Every one of those fucking assholes who didn't help her, I hope they fucking have their assholes burned out. Like fucking useless idiots.
Sadly, as we can suspect, Theresa did not let this go lightly.
Oh, of course not. Now it's revenge time.
She beat Susan severely and then handcuffed Susan under the dining room table, where she would remain for 2 years.
What?
She was forced to wear a mouth gag at all times, except for the odd time that she was hand-fed from the table.
Oh my God.
One day in 1982, Theresa was so wild with anger, she shot Susan with a .22 pistol. Obviously wanting to conceal this from the police, she bandaged Susan up herself with the bullet still lodged inside of her.
Oh, she's gonna die from an infection from that shit.
She did recover from this injury fully.
Get the fuck out of here, really.
Yeah. The torture continued, leaving Susan battered, bruised, and treated like an animal. In 1984, she was stabbed with a pair of scissors.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
One day, Susan begged for Theresa's permission to move out. She could not handle the abuse any longer, and by some miracle, Theresa agreed, but under one circumstance, that the bullet still lodged in her body be removed. Susan agreed. Susan's brother Robert Jr. was ordered to remove the bullet. He was able to get it out, but this left Susan riddled with infection just a few days afterwards.
Oh, of course.
She lost all control of her bowels, and her skin had begun to turn yellow.
Oh, Jesus.
On July 16th, 1984, Theresa gathered all of Susan's things and put them in garbage bags. She then bound Susan's arms and legs and covered her mouth with duct tape. Theresa then ordered Susan's brother, Robert Jr., and William to put Susan and her things into the car, which they fearfully obeyed.
Yeah.
The four of them drove to Squaw Valley, where William and Robert were ordered to put Susan on the side of the road on top of the trash bags containing her belongings. Theresa doused a very alive Susan with gasoline and set her on fire.
Are you fucking kidding me? What is this, Sons of Anarchy?
I
Like,
know.
this is fucking disgusting. Holy fuck, how could the fucking brothers be doing this?
I know. It was the mother that doused her with the
Oh my
Vaseline.
God. Like, she must have had them riddled with such fear
I
that
know.
none of them tried to fucking kill
Yeah.
her. Like, she was a drunk fat idiot. They could have just easily fucking killed her.
The next day, Susan's burned and smoking body was found.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
At that time, a positive ID could not be made for Susan, and so she was listed as Jane Doe, number 4873/84.
Oh, fuck that.
Now with Theresa gone, Theresa had turned her focus on the next oldest daughter, Sheila. In 1985, as Theresa did not work, she forced Sheila into prostitution to support Theresa and the family.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Due to the large amounts of money that Sheila was bringing home, she allowed Sheila a little more freedom to leave the house. But just a few weeks after that arrangement, she began fighting with Sheila, accusing her of giving Theresa a sexually transmitted disease through the toilet seat.
What?
Sheila denied this through and through, but was not able to avoid a savage beating from Theresa.
Oh my God.
She was hogtied, beaten, and then locked into a closet that had no ventilation. And the other children were prevented from helping Sheila and feeding her.
Oh my God,
Sheila-
that's fucked.
I know. Sheila thought that if she agreed to the accusation, she would be let out of the closet. So she confessed to her mother that she did give her the STD through the toilet seat.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Theresa didn't buy this, saying to Sheila that she was only confessing to be let out. Sheila was never released from the closet and died 3 days later on June 21st, 1985, from starvation and dehydration.
Are you fucking kidding me? She died from starvation.
She was hogtied and left in there.
That is
after
fucking
beating.
disgusting. That is so... I can't fucking believe this shit.
Theresa,
Holy fuck.
Sheila was left in the closet for another 3 days before she was discovered dead by Theresa.
Oh my God.
Her sons were ordered to remove Sheila's decomposing body, place it in a cardboard box, and dump it. It was found at the Truckee Tahoe Airport a few hours after being dropped off. Like her sister Susan, Sheila was unidentified and classified as Jane Doe number 660785.
Oh, this poor fucking girl. Holy shit.
Sheila's decomposing body left its mark in the closet, causing the smell of death to permeate itself through the entire apartment. Fearful of the smell implicating her in the death of Sheila, she moved the family out on September 29th, 1986, and asked her younger daughter Terry to burn it down, the entire apartment.
What? Like burn down the entire fucking apartment building?
Yeah. Obeying, Terry came back in the night, dumped lighter fluid throughout the apartment, and lit a match to it. The other neighbors within the apartment caught the fire in perfect time and alerted for help before it could cause any real damage.
Oh my God.
The closet was safe from any damage. Investigators were called, and when they removed the carpet, it was apparent that something terrible had happened there.
No shit.
Theresa had gone into hiding. Her other children, except for Robert Jr., had moved away from her and severed all ties with her. Terry, the youngest daughter, ran away and used Sheila's ID card posing as her until she turned of legal age. Terry had tried informing Utah police about the murders of her two sisters, but they did not take them seriously and dismissed them.
Who are these fucking assholes? Do we have their names?
No.
Like, we should be able to fucking ridicule these
know.
fucking assholes.
She then tried telling a therapist that she had gone to see, and they too dismissed the claims.
Who are these fucking cunts?
Robert Jr. was arrested and sentenced to 16 years in prison for robbing a bar. So Theresa was alone now and moved to Salt Lake City, Utah, after he was sentenced.
Holy fuck.
On October 28, 1993, Terry called America's Most Wanted hotline to try and get justice for her two sisters. They referred her to detectives in Placer County, California, which is where Susan's body was found. The detectives took Terry very seriously and began investigating. They were able to link their Jane Does, Susan and Sheila, to Terry. Terry's brother William was arrested and charged with the murders of his sisters on November 4th, 1993. Robert Knorr Jr. was charged while serving his 16-year sentence. And on November 10th, 1993, they located Theresa and arrested her. She was living under her maiden name and working as a caretaker.
Oh, get the fuck right out of here.
For her landlord's mother.
Get the fuck right out of here.
Caretaker.
Oh my fucking God.
She was charged with 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of conspiracy to commit murder, 2 counts of special circumstances charges, and murder by torture. On November 15th, 1993, Theresa pleaded not guilty to all of her charges, but then eventually changed it to guilty under the condition of removing the death penalty.
Oh, fuck that. Kill the fucking fat piece of garbage.
She changed her plea because she learned that Robert Jr. was going to be testifying against her. On October 17th, 1995, Theresa Knorr was sentenced to 2 life sentences. She is still serving her time at the California Institution for Women. She was denied parole in 2019 and will have her next parole hearing in 2024.
No one let her out.
Theresa's son William was sentenced to probation with the condition that he attend therapy, which I think was
I think
right.
Everyone involved needs to attend therapy.
All charges were dropped against Robert, except for 1 count of accessory after the fact. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 3 years, on top of his 16 years. Theresa's youngest daughter, Terry, had married twice, and she lived with her second husband in Sandy, Utah, which was only a few miles away from Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
She did not know at that time that she lived so close to her mother.
Oh, Jesus.
Terry passed away in 2011 of heart failure at the age of 41.
Yeah, well, after a stressful life, no wonder she died early.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
And that's the story of the wicked witch mother, world's worst mother, Theresa Knorr. I feel like we have a few episodes where of just shitty mothers.
We don't get female criminals very often.
Yeah.
But when we do, they're fucking awful.
Yeah.
They are right fucking awful.
Yeah. I feel that way with with Canadian crime as well.
There's not, like, we have crime, yes, but, like, in terms of, like, really horrific serial killers and things like that, we don't have too many. But the ones that we do have are, like, the worst of the worst. Like,
yeah, they're pretty fucking awful.
Yeah. So that's Theresa.
Oh, she is an ugly piece of fucking garbage.
That's
She looks like a Marple mystery fucking criminal. She looks like a mean son of a bitch. She looks like the kind of woman who would have a beaver that starts right at her belly button and goes up her ass crack. Like a real big bushy
Gross.
one. Like it looks like a fucking...
like a 70s porn.
Yeah. Like a hedge maze, you know? Like she seems like someone who wouldn't shave their legs.
Yeah, oh, for sure. God.
You know?
Especially when hearing that she became like a recluse and gained weight and stuff, you know, she let herself go.
Oh yeah, she didn't see her pussy for ages. She looks like the kind of person who would have hairy moles on her back. You know? And maybe like a real weird looking birthmark on her like left ass cheek, like in the shape of the lost continent of Mu.
Well, being, you know, I have to... Those are her two daughters, Susan and Sheila.
That's fucking awful.
That's Terry.
Yeah. Jeez, look at that split lip.
Yeah, I was curious if that was a split lip or a lip ring.
Back then, I don't know what a lip ring would be.
85 and 93?
Maybe.
Like 1993 is when she called...
Maybe she was a trailblazer back then in the grunge movement.
Yeah. And those are the two brothers when they were arrested.
Oh my God.
That was a doozy. I promise you, next week will be a little bit... It's still, I mean, it's true crime, but it will be like...
Yeah.
As much as I can say, a little less heavy than this one. When I was researching her backstory, she was extremely close to her mother. And yes, her father fell into a depression, and which is why she left and got married at 16, you know, to get out of that environment. But she was very close to her mother and very heartbroken over the death of her mother. So it sounded like she had at least a good relationship with her mother. And so it surprises me how horrible she was to her own children.
Do you think it was like crazy postpartum that like never got resolved?
Oh, that's interesting.
Like she had like she had a litter of kids.
Mm-hmm. I do, like, there is so much sadness in this face of what this kid went through.
Yeah.
And like, I just can't help but think, like, with Susan being granted the permission to move out, and she probably like burst, like she reached the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. And
then agreed to that condition, thinking, I'm assuming Theresa wanted that condition so abuse could never be led back to her. Like if something were to ever happen, they'd be like, how did you get this?
Whatever bullshit reasoning that dumb bitch had in her cuntish brain.
And just to think that that's what took Susan's life. And then just like, you couldn't, I'm not even going to say this, but you burned her alive.
Yeah, that's
You
fucked.
burned her alive?
That's fucking crazy.
I don't understand how anyone has that. I mean, all the capabilities she did, like abusing her children and stuff, I can't fathom. But just to douse gasoline on your hogtied child.
I don't get it.
And
how do you
light a match.
carry a life for 9 months and then this is how you treat them?
Yeah, it's just something I cannot fathom.
Stupid fucking bitch. I hope her life in prison is torture itself. She should be fucking ridiculed in the middle of town square.
Mm-hmm. I have to commend that young Terry for the lengths she went to try and get justice for her two sisters.
Yeah.
She tried informing police. She went to a therapist to seek help, and then just thought, okay, you know, and not. Yeah. I think America's Most Wanted was in its prime then too. Yeah. And thought, okay, I'm gonna call them, and thank God that they took her seriously.
Well, that was a horrible story.
I know.
Thank God it's Friday and there'll be drinks.
I promise next week will be a little bit later.
Oh, will you please give us some? Can you give us
There's
at least
one?
Few
vigilantes.
Can you at least give us a few where they get beat the fuck out of in prison, or the death penalty is actually served?
I have given you a few where the death penalty was served.
We should do Marie Antoinette, or the witch trials or something
Yeah,
like that.
I would love to cover the witch trials.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
That would be a good one for you to do.
I don't know how to do any of this.
Hey, we got a comment on YouTube about how good the crucifixion video was.
Oh, man.
And
45 minutes on Wikipedia.
And who did that?
I don't know. All right, let's move on. We'll do a quote from Daniel Baldwin.
Oh, God.
You're not feeling the Daniel Baldwin?
No.
Well, who would you prefer?
I can't think of any now.
Well, if you have no solutions, you don't get to fucking
I've
provide
given
complaints.
solutions. I said Bob Saget, and you said
No, he's too big. Like, think Kevin Sorbo.
Who's that?
The guy who played Hercules, and that's exactly the correct response. Who's that? There's a Daniel Baldwin? The fuck was he in?
Do you think people feel that more way with Daniel Baldwin? I feel like they feel that way more with Steven.
Steven is extremely B+ list.
What you know what we should do? Wrestler quotes. It's where it's just a different wrestler each week.
Okay. All right, who do we start with then? Wrestler quotes. Do we have like a random wrestler generator? All right, we're going to do wrestling quotes. I wanted to do Daniel Baldwin quotes, so let us know in the comments if you prefer wrestler quotes or if you prefer Daniel Baldwin quotes. They're both
We'll put a poll.
They're both just as crazy, I imagine.
I'll put a poll on Instagram.
Okay. Quotes by wrestlers. All right, I got one. Here we go. All right, time to listen to the beautiful words of the very charming and eloquent Razor Ramon Scott Hall.
R.I.P. He just recently passed.
Yes, he recently passed. And the fucking WWE was so generous to give him like a 13-second fucking tribute.
I know.
Fucking assholes. Anyways, Scott Hall, everyone. Scott Hall. You can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends.
Amen.
Hey, that's very true. That's very true, especially having gone through the pandemic, and I can appreciate that, yes, you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends.
And a little life coach nugget here for all of you is sometimes people are just meant to be in your life for seasons. You know, not
whether
everything.
winter or spring.
Some people aren't meant to be along your journey from beginning to end.
Yeah, and thinking of my family, well, that season was the winter of my discontent.
Or as Joe Biden would put it, like a winter of extreme death and darkness.
Come on, guys. What a piece of shit he is. All right, folks. Well, thanks very much for sticking around. I'm sure you're going to need a few more glasses. You probably need a refill after this one. So drive safely, and we'll catch you next week.
Drive safely. And if you're a pedestrian, walk safely.
Walk safely. Stay close. Stay
to
off.
the inside.
Stay to the right.
Stay to the right. You have to put a Goonie sound clip there.
Stay to the right! You stay to the right, thank you!
All right. See you later,
All
folks.
right, everyone.
All right. Good night.
Ciao.
You can check us out on YouTube at Catam Concoction.
That's CATAMCONCOCTION.
And on Instagram at cast_Aghast.
Remember, there's a silent H.
Hold on. Okay.
Oh, shut up. How's your stool sample doing? It's
Okay.
on its way.
That we can.
I'm enjoying my coffee.
We can cut out. Stop creaking the table.
Okay.
At 16 years old, sorry,
Was she vaccinated?
in the 50s,
Jokes. We have them.
yeah, for days.
As you do.
Theresa never, obviously wanting to conceal this from the police, she bandaged Susan, obviously wanted to, and legs, and covered her mouth with duct tape. I should reread that.
What the hell?
With duct tape.
Duct
On July 16th, 1984, Theresa gathered all... You're making so much noise with the table. On November 15th, 1993, Theresa blah, blah.
You can't shoot... No, I can't. I'm not going to read it like Scott.